Engage, Enlighten, Empower. Hello and welcome to this edition of Create More Business Live. I am your host, Roderick Ferrier. Today's special guest, Meridith Elliott Powell. She is voted one of the top 15 business growth experts to watch by Currency Fair. Meridith is an award-winning author, a keynote speaker, and a business strategist. She has a background in corporate sales and leadership, and her career expands over several industries, including banking, healthcare, and finance. She is a certified speaking professional, a designation held by less than 12% of professional speakers, and a member of the prestigious Forbes Coaching Council. She is the author of 4 books, including Winning in the Trust and Value Economy, and that was a finalist in the USA Best Book Awards. In her latest, Own It, Redefining Responsibility, Stories of Power, Freedom, and Purpose, about how to build cultures that inspire ownership at every level to create profits at every turn. Today's discussion, guys, will be winning in the trust and value economy, strategies to drive innovation and business growth. So today, you will get 3 must-have strategies for turning this economy into your economy. And you will be able to find out how to get out of the pricing war, get above the white noise, and start gaining competitive advantage. You will discover new approaches to opening more doors and closing more sales. And I don't want to put you in a box there, Meridith, but it said discover a powerful new approach to opening more doors and closing more sales that you can implement first thing Monday morning. Meridith, thank you so much for joining us. I am going to give you control here and switch this over to you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to share this information with my listeners today.
Thank you, Rod. I am excited to share this information. This is just a passion for me of really helping entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders understand how to make this economy start working for you. So we've got about 25 minutes to cover a lot of ground. I'm going to finish up this presentation by giving you my contact information, and I really want to encourage you to reach out. Try some of this stuff. If you have questions or want more information, please do not hesitate to reach out. This information today is based off a book I wrote called Winning in the Trust and Value Economy. And that book was written and published in 2012. But I began researching it in 2009, 2010 because of what happened in 2008. That is sort of a year that is burned into all of our memories. But around 2009, I started noticing that companies and leaders that I worked with, a very small percentage, were seeing unbelievable growth, like 20 and 30%. And for the rest of us, we were not only not staying flat, but we were going backwards. And what I discovered was those few people who were really doing well post-2008 had really changed how they did business. They understood that this economy is not up, it is not down, despite what our politicians, reporters, everybody's saying. I just heard it on the news this morning. Are we headed for recession? What's going to happen? Well, the truth is we do not live in an up and down economy anymore. What we live in are very shifting and changing times. And in fact, economists agree. They say this economy isn't up, it isn't down. What it is different, radically changed. And things are never going back to the way that they were. And in fact, economists agree. They say we actually went through an economic shift around 2008, 2009, moving out of what was known as a push economy and into what is known as a pull economy. And don't worry, because we're not about to jump into an Econ 101 lesson here, so take a breath. Because the only thing you need to know as a business owner or a business leader or entrepreneur is that when you move out of a push and into a pull economy, your consumer, your customer, just moved into the position of control. They're calling all the shots. They have all the power. Just take a moment and think about this. Globalization. advancements in technology, increased competition, we could all sit at home for the next week, sit around in our jammies, our underwear, and our skivvies, and Google until our heart is content and have everything we need, everything we want, every little thing that we desire. It could be delivered right to our door. I am guessing that most of you do that right now. You are the king or queen of Amazon Prime. I mean, your best friend is the UPS delivery person. I mean, we have become a world where we can buy anything we want, anytime we want it, anywhere in the world we want to. That makes this an economy where what we sell, what we provide as business owners has become a commodity, but how we offer it, the experience we create, that's now our competitive advantage. I have come to call this a trust and value economy. Trust is what attracts your customers to you. That's what they're looking for because they can buy the product anywhere. So they're looking for an exceptional experience and then proactively adding value. That is what is building the business and keeping them with you long term. So if you want to succeed, if you want to win in this economy, you've got to understand that it isn't the product or the service that you're selling, but it's the experience that you're creating. That's what's growing your business. So if this economy is so different, if our customers are different, doesn't it make sense that how we sell, how we grow our businesses needs to be different in this economy? These are different times that call for very different strategies. And I've got to tell you that when I was writing the book and researching those businesses, I found that the ones that were struggling, that were feeling so much pain from this economy, were continuing to use aggressive sales tactics that worked prior to 2008. They don't work post 2008. How you attract the business, how you develop the business, how you grow the business is very different in this economy. And there's basically 3 strategies, 3 steps, 3 things that you need to do to put yourself in a position to understand how this economy works now, really connect with your customers, and actually make this economy start working for you. So that's what we're going to cover today, is those 3 strategies, those 3 steps. And I tell you that if you put these into place, you're not only going to make this economy start working for you, but you're basically going to enjoy the process. So let's go ahead and jump in. Has anybody ever seen the television show Mad Men? It went off the air a couple of years ago, and if you've seen it, then you know. If not, I'll catch you up very quickly. But it was a television show about the rise of the advertising age in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And basically, it was based in New York City, and I loved this television show because nothing depicted a rock and push economy better than Mad Men. I mean, this was a time when businessmen and advertising execs, you could make up anything you wanted to about your product or service, slap it in an ad, and people couldn't wait to buy it. I mean, you could tell a woman that if she bought a certain bra, she looked just like Jane Mansfield or Kim Kardashian. And, you know, men bought into this idea that a little dab would do them, and, you know, they put a little Brill cream in their hair, and people couldn't wait to buy it. Well, those were the good old days. Those were the times that you could make up anything and put it in ads and people couldn't wait to purchase it. And those days lasted right up until 2004. 2004 was actually the last year on record when our economy was at an all-time high. I mean, banks were lending money, businesses were building inventories, and people were just buying things for the sake of buying them. You know, those were the good old days, and you've got to wake up because our economy does not work like that anymore, and for far more reasons than rules and regulations and truth in advertising. It doesn't work like that anymore because far more than this economy has changed. Your customers, consumers have changed. Really grasp this concept that today's customer is very different. They're well-informed, highly skeptical, and squarely in control. They're no longer interested in what you're saying about your product or service. Instead, they're turning to their friends, their family, and even Google reviews. The moment they find out about your product and service, they're turning to somebody else to figure out what their experience was like. This is an economy where celebrity endorsement and your celebrity endorsement and traditional advertising no longer hold the power. What people are interested in is your reputation. What is it, and have they heard of you? And what are your customers saying about you? So if you want to succeed, if you want to win in this economy, you can't push your message on other people. You've got to start pulling them to do more business with you. Strategy one in this economy is to work on attracting the business to you rather than pushing people to do business with you. In other words, you've got to attract the business before you ask for the business. Word-of-mouth advertising has gone on steroids in this economy, and you've got to get your reputation out there. You've got to attract the business before you ask for the business. In other words, the question now should be, how do we attract the business? Well, if you want to attract the business in this economy, you've got to get above the white noise, and you've got to stand out from your competition. People have to have heard of you before you ever knock on their door. If they go online and they Google you, you have got to pop. They're looking for a third-party endorsement before they're ready to do business with you. So in other words, if you want to pull more customers to do business with you, then you have got to have a wow factor. See, I told you that your customers and consumers are in control in this economy, that they're calling the shots. But I tell you, buying anything today has become overwhelming. Customers and consumers are almost overwhelmed with choice. Buying anything has become like shopping in the cereal aisle of the grocery store. And we all know, we've all been in that aisle of the grocery store, where that you turn down that aisle and there is just row after row after row after row of anything anybody could ever think of to do with a cornflake. And you have to be that cornflake that pops off the shelf. See, wow factors are what make people choose you. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I've got an investment advisor that we love doing business with. People ask my husband and I all the time if we would switch investment advisors. And I always say no, that we've worked with John for years, we love John, and we would never consider doing business with anybody else but John. Why? Well, because I know that John has finished top 5 in his company 5 years in a row. He works for one of the most safe and sound financial institutions in the country. And whenever I'm at a cocktail party or out on the golf course and John's name comes up, everybody speaks so highly about John. Now, I don't know these things about John because I am some whacked, crazed person who is obsessed with my financial advisor. I know these things about John because he has a wow factor and he promotes that wow factor. When John finishes top 5 in the company for the 5th year in a row, he sends us all a thank you note saying, I could never do it without customers like you. And when his bank is named one of the most safe and sound financial institutions, he sends us all a copy of the article saying, thought you'd just like to know your money and your investments are safe with us. And he doesn't just do that with my husband and with me. He does it with all of his clients, creating his own buzz about himself and about his business. If you want to win, if you want to succeed in this economy, you've got to realize that you begin the sales process by attracting the business. And you've got to create your own buzz to get above the white noise and stand out from your competition. And you do that by creating a wow factor. If you create a wow factor, you'll make those doors open before you ever knock on them. You'll make people talk about you and want to do business with you before you ever ask for the business. So that's your first step, to attract the business before you ask for the business. So strategy number 2 is that you've got to plug in to the power of connection. Teddy Roosevelt once said that the most important ingredient in the recipe for success is our ability to get along and connect with people. I got to tell you, Teddy would have rocked this economy, because Teddy understood, he really understood, that the most important thing when you talk about building relationships in this economy is to slow down and really connect with people. Connection is huge when it comes into play in the sales process in an economy where the customer experience is what you're selling. See, connection is this crazy thing that we think if we know a customer's name or remember their birth date, somehow we're connected. But that's not true. Connection is about slowing down, really listening to your customers and hearing who they are and really what they need. When we do that, we not only connect with our customers, but we send a strong message that says, this relationship will always be more about you than it will be about me. In other words, if you want to plug in to the power of connection, you've got to invest in your clients before you ask them to invest in you. This is an economy where there is so much white noise, there is so much push, and there is so much aggression that if you want to stand out from your competition, become that salesperson or that business owner who gets to know your customers, who invests in really listening to them. That's how you'll build trust, and that's how you'll really stand out from your competition. Because remember, they can buy the product anywhere. But in an economy where there's so much white noise, people want to be cared about and they want to be listened to. And something very powerful happens when we listen to people. First, we find out exactly what it is that they need. And the second, we send a strong message that says, we care. We value them, and this relationship is important to us. If you plug into the power of connection, you're going to stand out from your competition and really connect with your customers. And that's going to put you in a perfect position to really start selling risk and value instead of selling price. You know, Rod talked at the beginning that we all want to get out of the price war. And in a shifting economy, it really feels like we're competing on price. But I've got to tell you, if your customers are leaving you to go to your competition over price, it's because price is all they believe that you're offering. In this economy, if people leave you over price, it's because they don't feel that you are selling anything else. If you want to succeed, if you want to win in this economy, you have got to sell risk and value. Write these two questions down. What is it that your customers gain from doing business with you? What do they get from you that they would never get from your competition? And what is it that your prospects lose if they chose your competition over you? Whatever the answers are to those questions, that is risk and value. I'm going to give you a quick example with a story. I had a client about a year ago, a gentleman who produced accounting software. He made accounting software for small manufacturing firms. And he called me because his salesmen were coming to him and telling him he had to lower the price. Because they were just getting killed by the competition and they couldn't sell the product. And he turned to me because he said, my margins are so skinny now, I have nowhere else to go. I cannot lower the price. He said, what can we do? And I said, well, tell me a little bit about that business. Help me understand. Do you have customers right now who are willing to pay for the product, who are paying the price that you're offering? And he said, absolutely. I said, great, why are they paying? Why, when they could get it cheaper someplace else, why are they paying you more money? He said, gee, I don't know. Now, this is why I get paid the big bucks. Hold on to this brilliant suggestion. I said, well, let's ask them. So we put together a little simple survey, maybe 5, 6 questions, and went out and asked his current customers, what is it? Why do you do business with us? And what I found out was amazing. What we found out was they loved the fact that he had been in business 20 years. That had value for them because they were tired of every competitor constantly being sold. Every time they had a problem or a challenge with the software and they called his office, somebody answered the telephone. They could always talk to a real person. Any changes or upgrades that he made to the software went to existing customers free of charge. They felt that was for huge value. Now, in the essence of time, I'm going to cut it off there, but basically we ended up with like 10 or 15 things that his customers said were huge value to them. They didn't feel like they were paying more. In fact, they felt like they were getting a bargain. And all we did was incorporate those things into the sales process. We started selling risk and value, helped the prospects he was calling on understand what they were getting for a little bit higher price. And when we did that, we shifted the sales process. See, when you sell price, when you compete on that, you don't give your customers a reason to choose you. They need to understand what went into your pricing structure. What is it that they're going to get more of? Is it that they're going to save time? Or are they going to get extra features? Are they going to get personalized service? It is a myth in this economy that people are not willing to pay more. They're willing to pay more, but you've got to give them a reason to do so. If you sell risk and value, if you bother to slow down, ask questions, really listen to your customer, they'll tell you what's important to them, what matters, what they need, and what they're willing to pay more for. And when they do that, you're going to put yourself in a position to charge what you need to charge to make your business successful. So we've got 2 out of the 3, and we've got about 5 minutes left to get into our third strategy and wrap this whole thing up. We know that we've got to begin by pulling our customers to do business with us. We've got to slow down in this economy and attract the business before we ask for the business. And once we attract that business, we've got those people interested in us. They're attracted to our reputation. We're going to come right behind that and really focus first on building the relationship, plugging into that power of connection, and really not selling product first, but putting the relationship out there, listening to the customer and understanding what they need and what they're willing to pay for. Now, I realize that I have just told everybody to slow down the sales process. And that's a little scary, isn't it, when we think about the fact that we've got budgets to meet, we've got goals that we've got to hit. Well, in this economy, if you want to succeed, you've got to slow the process down, but you've got to overfill your sales funnel. You've got to realize in an economy where you are not in control, that sales has to be a lifestyle, not a task. It's not something you do on Friday afternoons. It has to be something that you do every day of your life. You're not in control of when customers buy from you. You can influence it, and the strategies I've given you will help you influence it, but you've got to overfill that sales funnel. Because when you overfill that sales funnel, you're going to be selling from a place of power, not from a place of need. The toughest time to close a sale, the absolute toughest time to close a sale, is when you need it to close. If you need that deal to close, to hit goal, or to make your bottom line numbers, believe me, I don't care if you're selling to your mother, she's going to cancel the sale. So you've got to have more coming through the pipeline that you need. Therefore, what will happen is if somebody decides to slow the sales process down, you're going to be in an okay position because you're going to have more deals closing. In this economy, the moment that you sound desperate or in need, believe me, customers will start running from you. So if you want to use these strategies, you've got to overfill your sales funnel. All right, so let's jump into strategy number 3. And that is that you've got to learn to proactively add value. I'm going to back up here a second to this sales funnel. See, in the top of this funnel, this looks like an hourglass, not like a sales funnel. I realize that. And what I want you to understand is at the top of this funnel, it's the slowest part of the sales cycle today. Because here is the part that you've got to work on building relationship. You've got to work on attracting that business to you. And when you attract that business to you, people say, you know what, you seem a little bit different. I'm willing to give you a shot. And they move into the neck of this funnel. But believe me, right here, they're still a little gun shy. This first experience better be pretty amazing. But once they have that amazing experience, they slip into the base of this funnel. And the relationships results area, that's where the sales process starts. You've done all this job, all this work to attract the customer, to build a relationship. Now you've got to proactively add value. Value is nothing more than benefit divided by price, the price that people are willing to pay for the benefit they believe that they are going to get. The top 2 reasons your customers don't do more business with you is because they don't know what you have to offer and because you never asked. You have just spent 30 minutes listening to me about what you can do to win in this economy. And I'm about to give you a tip that if you put it into action this afternoon, you will, I promise you, by the end of this week, and I realize there's only a couple days left, you will close some business. But it is not your customer's job to understand the products and services that you have to offer. It's their job, it's your job to ask them questions and to really listen to what's going on in their life. And when you listen to what's going on in their life, there's all these products and services that you have that you need to be matching to their lifestyle changes and proactively adding that value. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down 10 customers that you haven't talked to in a while. 10 customers that you've done business with, that enjoy, that had a good experience with you, and I just want you to call them on the phone or go by and visit them this week and ask them some open-ended questions. Tell me what's new in your business. What are some of the challenges you're facing? What are the plans for this summer or this fall that you've got going on with the business? And really listen to them. Because these customers like you, they trust you, and they believe in you. And they're expecting you to come back and proactively add value. Because believe me, the worst thing that can happen to you in this economy, the very worst, is not that you don't get the sale. It's that your existing customers find out about a product or service that you offer from somebody else other than you. If you proactively add value, believe me, you're going to put yourself in a position to win in this economy. So quickly, let's take a look at these 3 strategies. Put yourself in a position to make this economy start working for you. You've got to pull customers to do business with you, not push them to do so. Attract the business before you ask for it. Plug into the power of connection by investing in your prospects and customers before you ask them to invest in you. And build with value. You've got to proactively create opportunity and proactively add value. If you do this, you're going to understand how this economy's changed, understand how that has impacted your customers, and put yourself and your business in a position to make this economy start working for you. So that was a lot of information really fast. I want you to put that in place today, and also reach out and connect with me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is how Rod and I met, as well as reach out. If you ask me questions, I promise I will respond. So, Rod, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
A little bit about us here at Create More Business Now. We help professionals build social networks quickly and accurately, help you harness the power of LinkedIn, And when you work with us, you will get new targeted LinkedIn connections on a consistent basis, up to 700 new targeted email addresses added monthly, and those are people that you are connected with on LinkedIn. So it adds another pillar of connectivity to your desired target. And we also give you drip marketing campaigns to help nurture those relationships, and that is both email and LinkedIn. And the beauty, guys, you are able to see in real time who is engaged with you and who is not, and act accordingly. Engage, enlighten, empower.